used to is not the place you belong. You have the capabilities of achieving what you want, so fill your head with good thoughts and good things will come to you. I know for certain that there are changes that are going to make you happier than you can even comprehend. Hi! Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk about something important to me, which is how to embrace change. If I look awkward with my iPad, it's because I have important things to say, but if I don't have it written down, then it sounds awkward. So change is both a noun and a verb, which I thought was really interesting because, well, the noun means the act or instance of making or becoming different, and the verb is to make someone or something different. The noun, it kind of like suggests passiveness, whereas the verb kind of makes it feel like you have a part in the change, or you can take hold of the change. One like quote I think about of change is sometimes the place you are used to is not the place you belong. I think that's from, it says it's from the Queen of Cotway. So why is change so scary? I probably have the worst time when it comes to change, while others sometimes go through change without even noticing, like college, new job, stuff like that. I, on the contrary, always make myself aware of change, both good and bad, and will cry either way. When I was younger, I used to cry at the beginning of each school year. I cried in my mom's arms each time, and she would be like, "What's wrong?" And I would be like, "Nothing, just sad, I don't know why." But I did know. I knew that my best friend for first grade wasn't in my class for second grade. I knew that my middle school teachers weren't as nice as the ones from elementary school. And I knew that my friends from middle school were going to the other high school in town. I hated change and I knew exactly why. Each year, change began to pick up pace and happen a lot more often. I started to feel suffocated, like I was drowning, struggling to keep afloat or trying to learn how to swim, while my peers were already floating, just letting the tide take them where it goes. And while even though that's how it feels, it really isn't how it is. You can ask your peers that seem like they're doing great. We all kind of just don't know what we're doing. By the time I got to college, I hated change so much. I tried to keep an iron grip on every single thing in my life. I held on too tightly to my friends, my old habits, and my old life. I held on so tightly that I eventually lost my grip on all of them, which is, I wouldn't suggest doing that. To this day, I get anxious at the mention of change. I get anxious at the mention of doing things differently, or even the mention of new things, going out of routine. I get stressed that I won't handle it correctly, that people are going to leave, that everything will go wrong, that I'm going to crumble under the weight that is change. Because of this mentality, I usually did. Why is change so scary? I wrote down a few things that I wanted to break down because I feel like these are like the root of why change is so scary to me. I put fear of the unknown. When we've gotten used to a situation, to our situation, we get comfortable. Whenever we're in a new situation, we look to a form of certainty, but it can be really hard when you can't really find any. There's loss. Even though change is a new beginning, it also means that you're losing what used to be. Looking to new beginnings also requires grieving, and it requires grieving what you lost, and this can be really tiring and overwhelming. It can feel like too many things are changing at once, so when change happens, it can feel super overwhelming. It feels like so many things happen at once and it's hard to focus on making routines or even like making yourself feel okay, that you kind of get lost and like overstimulated. That's how I feel. Feeling overwhelmed by all the change can lead to like an all or nothing thinking. You start to feel unqualified or maybe undeserving even though you're in the new situation for a reason. You aren't expected to know everything, but it feels like you're going to fail if you don't. Some people may fear failure and the vulnerability it can cause. New situations help us to reflect, and sometimes it can feel like we aren't enough. Some regrets also come with change. A lot of regrets also come with change. I constantly have regrets. Sometimes I have short-term regrets that wash away as soon as I start getting comfortable and start getting into new routines. However, sometimes I have long-term regrets. Even like regrets I still have now that seem to haunt my every waking minute. It's normal to have these and to wish that we could have time back, or we could go back and fix it. I used to like make a plan in my head about how I would go back and fix it. I have so many of those plans now, so I think it's funny. But this is because of the knowledge I have now instead of the knowledge I had then, if that makes sense. A lot of the times we have regrets, we were in between decisions, like should I call this person, or should I take the new job, should I tell them how I feel. A lot of the things we regret are things we regret like not doing. To this I say do it always, even if it's scary. To the regrets we had from the things we already did, I say lesson learned, thank you for teaching me. Ways to cope or embrace change. As someone who lives in constant, and when I say constant, I mean constant, fear of change, I've had my fair share of failures, but I've also had my fair share of successes. When I find myself going through change and starting to spiral, I use these things as a way to cope. 1, put the screen down. Put it down. I spiral a lot. When I'm going through a significant change, I make sure to put the screen down because I tend to compare myself to others, usually in the same situation, who seem to be thriving. I cope by focusing on myself. A lot of journaling, writing down like constants I do have instead of things I don't have or I lost because of the new situation. A lot of positive self-talk. A lot of what you tell yourself comes true, whether it's good or bad. When coping with change, give yourself some grace. It's hard every single time. If you tell yourself something enough times though, it usually comes true and you start to believe it. Manifestation is, I feel like manifestation really is just repeating things to yourself and assuming that you have the capabilities of achieving what you want. So fill your head with good thoughts and good things will come to you. 3, focus on what you can control instead of things out of your control. Even though things seem to become overwhelming and unmanageable, there will always be something small that you can start on. I know it's hard, but it's important to shift your mindset. So instead of dwelling on things that you can't really do anything about, it's important to start small, build up, so you have those routines and you can make new constants. And number 4, practice self-care. I know everyone says this all the time, but it's true. Even the strongest person struggles with change. Acknowledge that you are doing hard things and give yourself a break when you feel it's actually appropriate. Know your benchmarks. Know when. Be able to look back on your progress. Any way you're feeling is super valid and you are deserving of good things. Change is scary, but it's also beautiful. I don't know what kind of change you're going through, but I do know it's worth coming out on the other side. Dwelling on the bad changes isn't worth missing out on the good changes, so I hope you open yourself up to the new. New friendships, new experiences, new memories, new you. Once you learn to accept change, you learn that life keeps going. There might be more difficult changes coming along the way, but I know for certain that there are changes that are going to make you happier than you can even comprehend right now. In time, you're not even going to notice how much progress you've made, but you'll be reaping the benefits of it, being able to look back on it, and you'll be living those changes. And I think that's worth sticking around. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you also let me know if you like these videos, because I'm like in between formats of what I should film, and I like these but I'm not sure if other people like them, so let me know. This is my first one of this kind of video, and yeah, If you like them, I'll keep doing them. If not, we'll figure something out. Okay, bye besties, love you.